Hi, I'm Katrina from the Office of Portfolio Analysis, also known as OPA, and in this video we will go through how to drill down using facets and advanced filters within the COVID-19 portfolio tool. First off, facets can be very useful in narrowing down your search results by things like journal, preprint source, or PubMed, conditions, publication dates, and more. Before we go through the functionality, here's an outline of the different examples that we will cover in this video. As you can see, there are many different variations of facets or filters we can use to search this database. The first thing we will do is access the portfolio. Use the publicly available COVID-19 link as you see here in the search bar, eyesite.od.nih.gov/COVID-19, and click on Launch. Notice the entire database is populated immediately. The first thing you will see is the table view. Adjacent to this tab is the facets. Overall, the facets will give you an overview of the distribution of data within the portfolio based on any search criteria. As there are no criteria right now, you can see an entire description of what is in the portfolio. For example, most of the articles in the database are from PubMed, and they list devices such as personal protective equipment. The first example we will do is to drill down to the journal Nature and one specific publication date. So here's Nature here, and I will choose August 1st. Notice that there is a breadcrumb trail at the top, which denotes exactly what I've selected in the facets. And based off of this criteria, I get 2 publications. If you decide against one of these filters you implemented, simply click on the facet again to remove this filter, or you can click on the X in the breadcrumb trail. Also note, if you were to share this URL at the top of the screen, the receiver would come to the same page that you see and see the same results as long as no additional records have been added to the database that meet your criteria. Remember, articles are added to this database daily. Next, we will talk about the multi-button. This can be used to select more than one part of a facet or several facets. To do this, simply click on the multi-button to turn this functionality on. So for this next example, we will drill down to the journal Nature and select a few different publication dates in order to use this functionality. Notice as I go through that it's not implementing this search because the multi-button is on. I will need to manually select the magnifying glass once I have completed the fields that I want selected. Alternatively, to perform this multiple date search more efficiently, you can use a combination of facets and advanced filters. Keep the Nature Journal filter in the Facets view, but exit out of the date ranges that you have already selected. Next, go to the Advanced Filters funnel-like button at the top of the screen. This will allow you to select a to and from date range in order to more easily implement your date range search. This prevents you from having to click numerous buttons within the Facets window. Before we go through the next 2 examples, I want to show you how to reset the search and get back to the entire database. To do this, simply click on the X at the top of the screen. Again, go to Launch, and now we can see all of the records again. The next example we will do is to use the exclude button. So just like the multi-button, I will click on the exclude button to turn it on. And for this example, I am only going to exclude letters. So when I click on this facet, this has not implemented the search again because I have the multi-button on. So I will need to click on the magnifying glass in order to execute the search. Notice that the background of this letter publication type is now red, and there are no values within our results. In the breadcrumb trail, you'll notice that the background is also red and it is crossed out. Alternatively, The last way to include or exclude parts of a facet is to use the hamburger-like button at the corner of the particular facet that you want to alter. Notice here that the parts of that particular facet are in alphabetical order, and there is a search function. So for this example, I'm going to search for nature and simply drag it in the selected or included facets. When I apply these changes, you can see that my results are now limited to nature, but exclude any publication types that are considered a letter. This concludes the tutorial on facets. Here is a summary of what we went over today, with screenshots of the multi button and exclude along with the menu to include or exclude. If you want to learn more about any parts of the COVID-19 portfolio, here is a list of other video tutorials as well.